Okie dokie, off you go.
Yes, so for today's Tip Tuesday, we're going to be going through Haworthia, and we're going to be dividing pups off them today. So that's one of the most common ways of propagating these guys is pups. You can also do them from seed, but pups are much easier. So we've just got a little bit of a variety here. A lot of people think Haworthia, you know, just your boring green sort of colour, but they do come in other colours as well, and we'll show you what they are. So I'm just going to go through some of these names here that we've got here. So we've got your Haworthia silver kiwi, which is a very popular one here. You've got Haworthia attenuata, very common plant you see, but very tough. This is your attenuata as well, but this is the variegated form. So you see they're looking really nice, and we've got some nice pups coming on there too. Then we've got Haworthia truncata lime green. So it is showing a bit of stress on the edges here. I've only just given them a drink this morning, and they're just a little bit stressed out, so they will change a bit of colour through stress as well. Then you've got your pink lady, so Haworthia. This is a splendens variety, sorry, a magnifica variety splendens, pink lady. Then you've got Haworthia transiens, a very nice one here, more of a lime green kind of colour. Then you've got your Haworthia Limoupholia, so the twisting plant, they spiral, and they're really nice as well. Then you've also got another magnifica variety, splendens variety, and this is called blue crab. And then you've got your xantha gold Haworthia, which is looking really nice as well. Beautiful yellow colour there. So now so the growing time for these guys is autumn all the way through till probably about mid-spring before it gets too hot. I just find spring is a little bit warmer, and they just tend to be growing a lot faster, and it's a great time to start taking pups off now. So when they're in the growing season, these guys love water, so they don't really like to be too dry. They love shade, so if you've got a spot which is mostly shade with a little bit of, say, morning sun in the morning, is perfect for these guys here. Some varieties will even grow indoors as well, as long as you've got a bit of indirect light, because sometimes they will stretch a little bit too. So the ones that are most commonly found inside is your attenuata right here, and there's also one called cuspidata, which is a lot of people call them frogmouth, and that's a really good one to have inside as well if you're just looking for an indoor plant, and something unusual too. So these guys they're really weird plants, but they're really cool. So today we're going to be taking some pups off. I might have a go at the silver kiwi today, and just show you how we do that there. So yeah, good time now to really ramp up your sea salt with them. You can use liquid fertilizer, or you can start to go with your slow release, because the temperatures are getting warmer, particularly through the day, which means soil temperatures are increasing as well, and it's a perfect time to start applying your controlled release fertilizers. Or you can just use some organic ones, so you can use like compost is fine as well. You can also use blood and bone, and also dynamic lifter. But if you're using blood and bone dynamic lifter, just apply it around the plant. Just try not to get it in the crown of the plant or the rosette, as it can cause them to burn. And watering these guys, you can do it twice a week, probably even sometimes a bit more. They are just sucking in that water like there's no tomorrow. So beautiful, they're beautiful plants, and I really like them. They're not as popular, say, as your echeverias, but I just like them because they're just really unusual. So I'm going to grab I could even do the transients too. It's popping like crazy as well, but it's really interesting to see some of the ways that these guys will pup. So you'll find for the Limoupholia here, they'll actually start to grow new plants from their roots, and they'll just start randomly popping up around the main mother plant there. Otherwise, then you've got a lot of your other ones which will actually just grow in amongst the leaves of the main plant off the stem there. So the Limoupholia is a lot easier to harvest the pups as opposed to these guys, because you've got to actually try and snap them off the stem, and sometimes you can be a bit unsuccessful. Whereas the Limoupholia is a lot easier, and I can show you that too. So I will do the Limoupholia as well, just because you can see the way that it's growing there. So Haworthia have deep roots, so it is good to have them in a well-drained mix, potting mix, and if you're keeping them in pots, so a deep pot, and they'll love that. And that's what we try to do. Otherwise, the Echeveria, you want them in a fairly shallow pot there. So you can see I actually haven't watered these guys enough, so I've only hand watered them. But you can see all the, so you couldn't even see this plant on when you're looking at the top of the plant there. But you can see here, so that's a new plant coming through. And that's just what Limoupholia do.
Oh yeah.
With their roots.
Right,
so yeah. So if I was to put this in, say, even morning sun, it'll burn and probably die because it hasn't actually been exposed to any sort of direct light there. So if you are harvesting these guys, make sure that it is in a lot of shade, otherwise they will burn. But I would just let them go a little bit longer. So yeah, very, very easy with these guys. You just kind of grab the pup and then you just give it a wiggle. And a lot of time they'll already come with their own root system ready to go, and that's a really good head start there. And you can put this straight into its own little pot. So yeah, that's just I just thought I'd show you that there. See, it's a pretty funky stem there, but yeah, a really nice healthy pup coming on there, and it's already showing a really nice root system there.
So with that one, would you just cut that there and before you pot it, or would you pot that whole thing?
I would just pot the whole thing. That's fine. But if you want to, either way, you can tidy it up a bit more and trim that off there. So then you've just got the plant there. You may even find that's already a new plant coming on that one as well. It's really early, but that will be a new plant. So you can even just pot it from there, and you may find that you'll get another plant out of that as well. So that's Limoupholia. So I actually find that they're probably one of the easiest plants to propagate of Haworthia. Then we'll do transients here. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. Too happy in there. So it has a really nice healthy root system. So if you got it's really important with your Haworthia to make sure that the root systems are really healthy. That's what really helps the plant to remain nice and strong, as opposed to the, if you get a bit of damage on the plant, they'll always grow out of it. But yeah, if you have a lot of damage done to the root system, then they can actually die on you. But yeah, so really important to make sure you've got a really good root system on them. And so yeah, you want to try and get your thumb and your index finger as close to the base as you can. This one should be a little bit easier as opposed to one that's right in there. And you just feel a bit of a snap sometimes. Sometimes you'll get, a little root, which is good. Has a little head start, but otherwise you'll just get the stem there. And just put that into a dry mix until it actually starts striking roots. Otherwise they will rot if they remain too moist. And that's it really. So yeah, they're quite easy. You get like one plant, I reckon there's about 30 pups on this. So yeah, they're very prolific, some of these varieties are Haworthia. So yeah, you just got to keep kind of, oh no, I did get some roots there, but see, that's a little pup there. Doesn't have a root system coming on there, but it will once you just put it in a dry mix for about a week or two, and then you start slowly introducing some water to it. So yeah, that's a snap there, but that will work there. So you clean off any damaged or dead leaves, and then just put that into a dry mix, and away it will go. So yeah, so they're really great if you've got a bit of a if you've got quite a shaded spot, then these guys are really good to have in there. They're not a huge fan of frost as well, so just make sure they are protected. Normally they are, because they love the shade, normally you'd have something over them. Either they'll be growing underneath a tree, or you've got them under a pergola or something like that, and that will give them a lot more protection as opposed to just being exposed. So yeah, these guys are really tough here. So it might even be early days to try and get these pups off, but we'll see how we go.
Get rid of some of the dirt under here. Helps sometimes.
Yeah, but there's no pups down there. They're all kind of in the actual plant. So sometimes it's just easier just to get in there with some scissors and try and kind of force your way in there. And I did feel like I got something out of that there. Sometimes you really butcher them, but they do come back. So yeah, that'll be okay. So you've got a bit of damage there. I'll just remove these leaves. They can actually strike from leaves as well if you want to give that a go. I don't really bother with it. And that'll be fine there. So you just let that callus over for a couple of days, up to a week, and then put that into or you can put it straight into a dry mix, that's fine. Dab a bit of, if you've got hormone or something on it, if you like using hormone at home, that's okay. Otherwise, they do strike fairly easy. So yeah, once you kind of create a bit of a space there, you can just, without stabbing myself with the leaves, you can just kind of, I'm going to kind of push it towards that gap there, so I can get a bit of a, yeah, and there you go. So that one is not going to work there, so I did too much to it. And that will happen with these guys, so you just got to keep persevering with it, and then some you'll be successful with. Sometimes it's just easier just to get in like some scissors in there that way, because you know, fingers might just not be good enough to get in there. And that one is probably not a good one either, so yeah, you just got to be really careful there. Might go there, and that one not either, so they may have just been a bit too young there. But yeah, that one, the bigger one, was a good size, and that was ready to propagate. So I just wanted to show you just the different ways in which they'll actually pup. There you go, that's a good one there. And yeah, pretty cool, really unusual plants. I don't know if you've seen them before. You've most likely, a lot of people have seen the attenuata excuse me, but yeah, a lot of weird shapes and patterns of Haworthia there, like beautiful pink color there, and then you've got some weird ones like the Truncata there. Yeah, it's kind of like a fan, that's right. So yeah, I hope you found that helpful. But yeah, they are into growing season now, so it's a good time to start propagate them. Pot them up as well, put them in the next size. Make sure the pots are deep. If you've got some deep pots at home, it's perfect for these guys. They love it. Good time to start increasing your water. Add sea salt to them as well. They're fairly pest free too, so which is even better. So very rarely will you find, you know, like aphids attacking them. If they do, it would mainly be the flowers here, and they've got a really unusual flower as well. So
do you cut the flowers off these like your other plants?
Yeah, so you can do the same thing too. That way they're not putting the energy into the flower, they're putting it into pupping, hopefully, but just growth in general. So yeah, you can try and like, you can actually do these guys from seed. So, but the if you open up the flower gently, you actually see that the stamens and the stigma are quite deep in the plant there. So we won't use a paintbrush. Well, you can, but we kind of actually modify that paintbrush, so there's only a couple of hairs on it. We've got some ponies, so I just use pony hair or horse hair. That's fine, and it's long enough that you can actually get it in there, give it a little wiggle, and then you transfer your pollen around the different flowers. It's always good to have a few plants of the one variety, so you can just transfer that pollen across the different flowers of the plants there. So yeah, I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Make sure you like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification button as well, so then when we do future videos, you'll get notified of when we've uploaded some new ones. But yeah,
topic suggestions are always welcome.
Yes, yep. So if you have something that you'd like us to talk about, we would yeah, we're happy to, and we'd love to share our experience with that. And yeah, so just let us know and we'll add them to our list. But yeah, hopefully you found them helpful today with the Haworthia. Great plant, very underrated. Like I said, they're not as popular, say, your Echeveria, but they do have a really good purpose, and they're perfect for shady areas. So whereas your Echeveria will not like it, they'll lose their shape quickly, and the
colour.
And the colour as well, that's right. So yeah, give these guys a go if you haven't thought about them. They're really cool, unusual. Kids love them as well, just because they're just weird plants. So if I was to, you know, really bare root them, and it's just really cool the different types of root systems they have too. So if we bare rooted this silver kiwi, it would look so different to, say, this Haworthia attenuata. This is more of a really fibrous root here, like that. They're really thin roots.
Look like noodles.
Yeah, they do look like noodles. Whereas if I mean, it is fine here. So you get some of these feeder roots here, but you'll find with these guys, in particular Truncata, so if I can actually get this out, you'll see they're really thick, chunky roots. And when you bare root them, they actually look like, especially the silver kiwi, they look like octopuses. And I think we actually did share, you put up a post, Alicia,
Yeah.
of that, and they're just really cool.
Our daughters love them. They think they're hilarious.
So yeah, you can see it's a lot chunkier root there. If I was to completely bare root it, you'll see that there should be a lot thicker stem further closer to the bottom of the plant there. But really weird and cool plants. So yeah, no, I really enjoy growing them. I think they're really cool. Very slow, so they are slow growing. Tenuata and probably the Cuspidata is probably your quickest. But when you start getting into Truncatas, and even sometimes your Magnifica splendens, they can be quite slow as well, so just be patient with those guys. But yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. Have a great day. Hopefully you just continue enjoying the spring weather. I know I am. Plants are growing, which is fantastic. About to get some rain over the next few days, and keep our tanks topped up and water plants and just watch them go bonkers. So yeah, hope you're well, and we'll catch you the next Tip Tuesday. See yous.